So this is a quick how do you get started if you're having trouble getting started video. Right here. This is what you've clicked. This is our syllabus. All I would expect at this particular item, right, so complete steps 2 to 6, is get yourself a copy of steps 1 to 6 if you don't know what they are, and then get yourself a copy of, I'm just going to show you, I went up and I made myself, here's this copy. So the 6 steps, the first one was where you just kind of use the tool, the spreadsheet, you got the numbers, hopefully that's done, you get the mark to 100%. So the next steps are then looking at that and figuring out what it tells you. That's all step 2 really is. What are you checking first? Check everything, of course, but the priorities are listed right there. And then go on and try to analyze, well, why might this number, if it was a sort of an abnormality, why is it so much higher, so much lower than the others? And then you go to the actual statements. You have to know what the formula is that calculated it. And then you go to the actual statements and look at that number. And maybe you can find information elsewhere in the notes. Notes is critical, especially contingent liabilities and a few other tricks. So steps 2 to 6 are kind of not an exact science. You kind of have to use your gut sometimes even. But you certainly, the first thing you do is use your eyeballs and spot what that spreadsheet is telling you is happening. A couple other things to help you get going. Let's go back to that syllabus. See this stuff down here. I would suggest doing the very simple stuff from the point of view a grade 12 accounting student can do. Do those 6 steps. And then these links right here. So the earnings projection, the stuff, I got this from my brokers. We'll go through that later. I would try it first without, and then we'll look at that and see what it adds and how much stuff is in there that's probably going to blow your mind that you don't understand, right? That'll come in a later video, maybe. So just for this first bit, watch the lesson, just part 4 of that lesson, right? Video 9, and then see how far you can get through steps 2 to 6. If you got questions, let me know. But that's all I want you to do. This right here, a couple things about this if you decide to use it. Right? So I just grabbed an original copy from up top in our syllabus. Up here is where you put the stock symbol, but it only works for US stocks, this particular cell. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you a price to earnings ratio given the current price in real time, but it only works for US companies. So you'd have to do it manually. There's also a couple of cells that you might not have seen. If you put them in the right place, they'll tell you what the price to earnings ratio is for the future guidance, which companies aren't giving, but analysts still give. And those are some of the things that I plopped into these links here, right? Earnings projection 1 tells you what people think they're going to do in the next couple of years in terms of profit per share and stuff. But that's essentially it. So if you did it right, take a look at these numbers. If you pulled them from the Keyera's annual reports and you got these numbers, then you probably did it right, unless I made a mistake that I didn't catch. Those are the numbers you should get. What do they tell you? And remember, you can fudge. So I want you to really combine these exercises on our syllabus. Right? So where you did this analysis, and then where you did the form 6, and you made some of those changes, like if you don't get 20% of your accounts receivable, that was that activity. So combine all that together and see what you get. And don't feel like you are limited. So safety of capital. That's like the cash flow. Right? So here's profitability, here's safety of your cash flow. Safety of your capital, your investment, right? So it's the 12-month cash available, the priority one. But there's others. So like accounts receivable turnover, you could chuck that in there, no problem, right? So feel free to play around and see where you get. And then there'll be something after this, I think, to give some feedback. I haven't decided yet. But that's how you get started. Just bring it all together. So bring this step 1 that you did up here, and then bring sort of the manual adjustments you did in Form 6. Bring it all together, analyze it, look at the numbers. What does it tell you? I might have some questions in another form that'll eventually appear in this row down here. Okay? Good luck.